Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the 2020 touchdown of your Kingston Frontenac, Lennox and Addington United Way campaign. The United Way has been an important part of our community for almost 80 years, helping over 53,000 local individuals, children, and families last year alone. I extend a sincere thank you to the hundreds of dedicated volunteers who are championing the cause by literally and virtually engaging the community, which have stepped up in a new and creative way, and to our campaign cabinet and Angie McNeely, campaign chair, for her leadership. We miss being together in person, but we are united by local love. Stay safe, stay strong, Kingston. Your United Way value is appreciated. Here ends this proclamation. God save the Queen.
It's great to have Chris Wyman outside in a wind tunnel this morning. Great effects with Zoom. We're all inside, staying warm, staying dry. It's a little bit different for us, different times. We'd like to begin this morning by acknowledging this traditional territory's longer existence and its significance for Indigenous people who lived and continue to live on it. We are situated on traditional Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee land. There is a Métis community, and there are First people from other nations present in our communities today. Good morning and welcome. My name is Pat Murphy, and I'll be your MC this morning. I just want you to know that I was the second choice for this job. And I want you to know that coming in second isn't a bad thing, but I wish someone would let Mr. Trump know that so we can move on with our lives. Zoom meeting doesn't replace the experience of being together at the Ambassador. And actually, when I put my jacket on this morning, I was like, wow, I can't believe it. I still have a piece of bacon in here from last year at breakfast, and I'm going to eat that a little bit later. And I don't know if I'll heat it up or not, but it still looks pretty tasty. I know Bill Lewicka, always tough to say his name, he was worried about the sausages. So I don't have any sausages for Bill, but I do have a little piece of bacon for myself later. There's a chat feature on here for everybody that's used to Zoom and for those not used to Zoom. If you want to communicate with us along the way and make it more interactive, we would love that. This new Zoom platform is great, but sometimes there's some technical difficulties and we're all sort of navigating these new waters. So bear with us a little bit. It's different times and it's a little bit different. We know you could be laying in bed or using the washroom right now. And I want you to know that if you are laying in bed and using the washroom, we can actually see you. At the end, we're going to try to do a great big Zoom photo. So for those people that can get on with their cameras and allow their video to be seen, we're going to try to take a great big giant Zoom picture with as many people that we can let in as possible. If you're wearing red today, great. If you want to wave or hold up a sign, that would be great as well. It's going to be the biggest Brady Bunch photo you've ever seen, ever. Hindsight is definitely 2020. Who would ever have thought that Stages would turn into a food distribution center? Shout out to all my friends in the hub, to Travis and to Lionhearts, and of course the city for making all of these things happen. It seems that everybody needs to be a lot more flexible during these times, and I think it's important that everybody realizes that kindness is more important than ever. So people can't see our faces a lot of times because we're masked, but if we have time to just give a wave or let someone go ahead of us in a line, or going through a drive-through and picking up an order for somebody, or doing something a little bit extra by keeping our distance and keeping our masks on and washing our hands, please do that. Please be kind. Your United Way has been working harder than ever. And again, these are tough times, and during a pandemic, many services are in need more than ever. Things we would never have thought of at the time. Things like mental health services, addiction, food insecurity, as I've mentioned. Domestic and child abuse numbers are up way higher than usual. The United Way has been needed more than ever. As I've talked about before, the United Way never sleeps. It's a 12-month campaign. We focus on 3 months for money, but 12 months a year, the United Way is working. And that was never truer. While some of us were paralyzed and trying to navigate the waters in March and April, the United Way was out there working on our behalf. A huge shout out to all the people that donated to our COVID fund. We really needed that money back in March and April, and it was so kind of you to dig deep into your pockets to help us out. We've always said that every dollar counts, and that was truly the time when every dollar counted during those times. This is the time of year for a celebration for us, a new celebration, new time. And we set a goal for 2.9 million, which was very lofty during these times. I want to thank our donors, our volunteers, our agencies, and our staff. We have an unbelievable genie in a bottle here in Kingston with this United Way and our community. It's so energetic. People are so passionate about our community. And as I see some of the faces here this morning, there's people behind the scenes that just are tirelessly working on our behalf. And I appreciate, and we appreciate everything that you do. Thank you so much. We have a great program this morning. We're going to start with some brief comments from elected officials. So those are the people that actually came in first. And we're also going to hear from a funded agency and, of course, our campaign chair, Chief Angie McNeely. So first, we're going to have Mark Garretson, Member of Parliament for Kingston and the Islands. Mark.
Thank you very much, Pat. The mayor and I were just talking about who gets to go first, and I'm glad you picked me. Listen, I just wanted to start by thanking everybody at the United Way for the incredible work that you've done over the past year, and in particular over the past 8 months. There's no doubt that this has been an extremely challenging time, and it's been tougher on people that receive the supports from the United Way, but also tougher on people who are asked to donate and to get involved in the United Way, whether through time or in particular donations. Today we will learn of the response that the community has been able to garner in terms of donations in this particular campaign. But I know that regardless of what that number might be, our community will be better off because of the United Way and because of the leadership of Angie and Pavna and the folks at the United Way this year. Like I said, it's been a tough year. I can tell you that federally, 8.4 million Canadians out of 37 million have received the CERB, which was the Canada Emergency Response Benefit. There are a lot of folks out there who were negatively impacted by COVID-19. And so the services that are provided are so critical. I think of other services that exist in our community, like Pathways to Education. So much more difficult to reach out and connect with actual students than it may have been before. And so the work that you guys are doing to try to fill in the gap and to assist people, in particular those in need, truly is remarkable. So I won't take up much more of your time. I'm coming to you from my apartment in Ottawa, and I'm so glad to be able to have joined you this morning. And I really appreciate all the hard work that everybody's been doing, and I look forward to many more successes in years to come with the United Way.
Thank you so much, Mark. Great to see you this morning. Thanks for joining us. Next, we're going to have Ian Arthur, Member of Provincial Parliament for Kingston and the Islands. Ian?
Morning, everyone. And I never have to worry whether I'm going first or last because I'm always sandwiched between the mayor and the MP.
You're still number one in our books.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'd also like to start by thanking the United Way and the entire community for everything that has been done in Kingston. It was interesting yesterday for a lot of kind of negativity that came out as the result of the Auditor General's report on COVID-19. The fact that she singled out the response from Kingston as being exemplary. And so full credit. I hope Dr. Moore is on this call this morning. I would understand if he's not. I'm sure his life is even crazier than all of our hours are right now. But to the team at KFL and Public Health and the whole community, this has been a community response, and it demonstrates and exemplifies what can be done when we come together with a common goal in mind of making sure that when we do have outbreaks that we crush that curve immediately and that we do what is necessary. It has been a very difficult time for so many people in this community. And so to have an organization like the United Way of KFL&A and the incredible team that has led this effort during some of these incredibly difficult times is just a testament to this community and our resilience. The services that the United Way provides are needed now more than ever. And I think one of the things that comes out of situations of extreme stress, like the pandemic, is that some of the cracks that we have become more apparent. We understand where the gaps are and very much what is missing in terms of our support structures for those who need it. And the ability of the United Way to step into some of those cracks, to manage this crisis, to help the community move forward is absolutely remarkable. So my heartfelt thanks to all the people who were able to donate this year, who stepped up and found a way and had the means to do that. That's incredible. And thank you to the team for pulling together an extraordinary campaign in really difficult circumstances. Well done indeed. And you have my heartfelt gratitude. So thank you so much, everyone. And I hope you enjoy the rest of this virtual breakfast.
Thanks so much, Ian. Just a huge shout out to Dr. Moore and all the folks at KFL&A. They've done a fantastic job, as Ian said. And I think that if we just keep in Kingston and our community, wearing our masks, washing our hands, and staying away from people, I think we're going to be okay. And that shows that. Thank you for being here this morning with us as well. The warden from Lennox and Addington, Marg Isbester, is with us this morning. Marg, you're muted. I couldn't wait to say that. We had some jokes offline about that.
And as some of my compatriots would know, that's not an easy thing to mute me. So thank you so much. And I knew I had to hit that button. Good morning, and thank you for including me in the campaign touchdown. So many working parts to a successful campaign, and then add the huge curve that operating within a pandemic causes. But thanks to all those who contributed, organized, raised funds, got businesses and groups involved, you found a way. Here in Lennox and Addington, we were fortunate to see funding go to groups that supplied services that were needed almost tenfold more than last year. And United Way helped them to deliver as the increases demanded. Also here in Lennox and Addington, new and innovative ways to deal with isolation, loneliness, and fear were developed by regular supportive groups and well-funded by the United Way. On behalf of the County of Lennox and Addington, I wish to thank all those who gave, all those who supplied the services, and of course, all those who helped organize the drive this year. It was memorable and successful, and I thank you again. And I ask that you all be well and be safe, and let's get back to some sort of normal. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Mark, thanks for joining us this morning as well. Mayor of Kingston, Brian Patterson.
Thanks very much, Pat. Good morning, everybody. It's amazing to join you if virtually here this morning, and certainly I would echo all the comments from Mark and Ian and from Mark this morning as well. The touchdown breakfast is always something I really look forward to. It's It's an amazing chance to celebrate all the efforts of so many people across our community. And I always have this incredible sense of pride when I see just how everybody's come together and everybody's doing their part. It's the sum of efforts of hundreds of individuals, all different workplaces, organizations, all coming together. And then when you put it all together, it's amazing what we're able to accomplish. And, you know, I have to say that, you know, this year, you've already said it, the campaign's probably never been more important than it is this year. And the funny thing is that in the midst of a pandemic, it would have been easy for people to step back and say, you know what, because of restrictions or because of the way that we have to do things, you know, we're not going to be able to do as much. And you know what I saw across the community is everybody step up and adapt and change and get creative. Nobody shrunk back. Everybody just did more. And you know, it's one of those moments where this has been it's been such a challenging year, but I honestly see this as our finest hour. And I just want to congratulate everybody for all of the amazing work that you've done. Pavna and your team at United Way, Chief McNeely and your team in the cabinet, how you've provided that leadership. So many people all working together. This is Kingston at its best. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. We're going to celebrate, again, a successful campaign. We're going to continue to work together. This is going to set the foundation for continuing to work as a community through the months to come. And you know, there's light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to get there. And I know that we will as we continue to work together. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Brian. Keyword, working together, which is all about the United Way. One of the big statements that came out, or mantras before, was we're all in this together, but we're all in this together differently. And some of us, again, back to our COVID donors coming in, and some of these people had funds already and they were able to just give a little extra. And that was such a huge shot in the arm to United Way in times when people really needed it, back in March and April especially. It hasn't slowed down, but those were the times when, again, back to some of us being a little bit more paralyzed, other people weren't. They were doing what they could. And so what a great community we live in. Now we have the Warden, Francis Smith, County of Frontenac.
Good morning, everyone. Sometimes it's hard to be last, but sometimes it's good to be last because I get the last word. I always like to do that. I want to thank everyone who has donated to the campaign over this past year. And it is tough times, but there are so many caring people out there who do want to keep supporting a cause like the United Way. One of the things the United Way does in Frontenac County is it touches our lives from the islands right through to north of Plevna. We're a big county, we're very spread out, but the programs that United Way has brought to our communities enable our folks to live and have the services that they otherwise would not be able to take part in. It's part of keeping our communities healthy and certainly engaged. It can be very lonely when you live north of Highway 7, but United Way is there for all of our communities. To the staff of the county who have raised funds this year, congratulations. Tough time for staff in every office place, not knowing what's going to happen when you go to work today, or having to work from home and deal with our broadband, which hopefully the governments will work together to fix soon. It's been challenging. I have to compliment the KFL&A politicians who have worked together so well with Dr. Moore and the health unit to keep our community safe. Patting ourselves on the back, we've done an excellent job. We've pulled together, we have made decisions unilaterally for all of the good of the people. So for that, I thank all of us politicians who have worked hard. But United Way is so important, and I congratulate everyone, and I'm glad to be with everyone today. Stay safe and happy. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this morning, Francis. Great words. The funds raised every year by the KFL&A community support local programs, as we know. Throughout the pandemic, the need for meal and food programs has grown exponentially, with over 1,600 meals being served every single day. Over 3,300 food hampers are being delivered every month to low-income seniors, students, and families. Everybody's support has made these programs possible. I'm pleased to now introduce Rhonda Candy from Martha's Table to say a few words to share with you how your support is ensuring the most vulnerable in our community have been able to access food programs. Rhonda?
Thanks, Pat. thanks for inviting me here today to talk with you about Martha's and to pass on our appreciation for the United Way. I've lived in other cities, big ones, smaller ones, but I'm from Kingston and I love this city. It's beautiful. It's got great architecture, shops and services, like hospital, transportation, universities, and the wonderful people within it. There's so many things that we need to be thankful for. However, I can recall a time shortly after I was started working at Martha's Table. I was in the downtown area and I recognized people that I knew from Martha's. They may have been sitting on a bench or just walking down the street, nothing unusual. They didn't stand out from others in any way. And this is my point today. Food insecurity can be invisible, but the need is real and widespread. 1 in 7 households live with food insecurity, meaning they're not sure where their next meal's coming from. But we are working hard to reduce that statistic as well as to reduce the stigma associated with it. Pandemic has caused a lot of disruption, anxiety, and fear among our program participants, and I mean really everyone. And we've also seen a major increase in the need for prepared meals. I'll share a story from one family during the pandemic that underscores the impact of the programs and how the community has helped. So last Thanksgiving, a woman and her young daughter knocked on our side door, and she haltingly explained, you know, it was her first time. She hadn't been here before, didn't know what to do. She was nervous. So I thanked her for coming and explained the process and got her the needed meals. She took several home for her other children that didn't come with her. She said goodbye, and I said, come back anytime. And I'm so thankful that she did come back and visit, because she disclosed to me that she was recently unemployed and never, ever expected to find herself in line at a meal program. I think most of us can probably step even briefly into her shoes in that moment and understand how she might have felt. It was a really difficult time for her, but she pushed forward. She did what she had to do to keep her family safe and healthy. So that was really impactful for me, and I wanted to share it. Although it doesn't give her background, we believe, you know, in privacy, but it really was a result of the pandemic. Our guests were suffering from negative impacts caused by isolation. Again, all of us feel that. Many don't have places to go or options to visit with family. They live on their own and they're lonely, which leads to a lot of other challenges, depression and so on. One of the best part of my day pre-pandemic, of course, was when I was able to speak with people, get to know them a little bit better, and build those personal connections. So as soon as it was safely possible, we set up an outdoor patio here at Martha's. This allowed people to socialize and connect, and it was in a safe way. And while not everyone wants to connect or socialize, I hope that it offered them a comfort in knowing that they had an opportunity to reach out, because we were there, we were visible, right? So as the weather turned cold, we winterized that outdoor patio, and it's now an outdoor warming center for those in need. I'm really excited about this next step. We're going to start a door-to-door meal delivery program. There are people that just can't leave home, and I'm so pleased about it. It's something we've wanted to do for years, but the pandemic was really the catalyst that brought this priority forward for us, and we're going to launch it next week on December 2nd. So the United Way has helped us in so many ways, especially during this pandemic. We were provided much needed PPE, sanitizers, takeout containers. They funded the summer patio, then the winter patio. This computer that I'm talking to you on, I wasn't able to Zoom previously. So all of these things that have made it possible for us to continue to get meals out to people that need them. The United Way has been so quick to recognize and to respond to the community needs, especially during this pandemic. They are a true, I think somebody described it as a gem. It's a community resource, and we certainly have appreciated their support. As I started my presentation this morning, I said how much I love this city, and it's a great place to live. And that's because we work together. Together, we're going to solve the challenges that we face. We'll reduce food insecurity, and we'll house those that need it. will provide supports for those that need them. Some of you may have heard my favorite motto. It's maybe something I overuse, but I really do believe it. It takes a village. Martha's is pleased to be even a small part of that village and do what we can to help. And it's a privilege to work with everyone here today and everyone in our city to help others. So I am happy to tell you this morning on behalf of our guests that we serve and everyone involved with Martha's Table, thank you for everything that you've done in the city, and thank you for supporting.
Rhonda, thank you so much. In these times, there's a lot of mixed messages where, we're telling people to stay home and be safe. And then there's people like yourself and people at Martha's Table that are being put at risk every single day because there's other people in our community that just don't have the luxury to be able to stay home. Again, this is sort of the push and pull, and it's so important to have services like Martha's Table, and we really appreciate everything that you're doing, and we appreciate everything with Martha's Table. Thank you so much for being here and sharing some words with us this morning. One of the things when we were talking about our goal of 2.9 million, we've been very successful over the last 20 years in reaching over the $3 million mark, but we knew that workplaces were going to not be able to have events and help contribute as much as they used to. And workplace events often contribute up about $600,000 to United Way. That's huge numbers. And again, there were a few events that were social distance events that worked well, but there's still many people working from home, and there was going to be a lot of loss of money for the United Way. But we thought it would be a great idea to still get some pictures from past and present, to put a montage together to still show you what's been going on while we've had this campaign in 2020. It's amazing numbers. Empire Life, School Board, CFB Kingston. Love the social distancing. Still workplaces being able to do their part in different ways. Homestead, always a huge supporter. And Bridge, always a huge supporter here in Kingston as well. Kingston Community Health Services. It's just amazing the people that were still able to do something or be able to put pictures forth and do their best and try in these times. The energy and the passion in our community has just been overwhelming, especially during 2020. I mean, this is the time usually at the Ambassador where we're back and forth with two microphones and we're showing checks, and the energy in the room and the laughter and the shouting and the celebrating is second to none. And it's kind of eerie to think that right now we're just sort of quiet, looking at this money that's coming in, but people doing what they can do. And we want to thank again everybody for going above and beyond.
I was wondering how you were going to do this, Pat, and this is a great way of doing it. And whoever at the United Way organized all this, great job. Looks awesome.
And Mark, I'm blown away by still the support in the community and the people that were able to still be able to submit things and submit pictures and be able to, you know, roll with the punches and be able to come out with great campaigns, even when many people still working from home or not working at all. Again, Jim Parker and our retirees, they're a huge supporter of the United Way and give a lot of money. And there were many people from the retirees that were digging very deep into their pockets during those March and April months. Thank you so much, Local Love. I really wanted to stand up and have no pants on and show my red boxes this morning, but I was a little scared because I know Angie's watching and she could easily send somebody here to arrest me so quickly that I was a little skittish. I didn't really want to do that this morning. So I do want to introduce our campaign chair. Angie is somebody that is a true leader. She's been calm, she's passionate. She's passionate about her work in the community and being police chief, but she's so passionate about the United Way. She's so dedicated. Back when we had our first April Zoom meeting, which was so great to see a bunch of people because we hadn't seen anybody really for weeks or 6 weeks or almost months. And getting together and having Angie at the helm, it made it as normal as it possibly could in a virtual world. And Angie was excited and there was a lot of energy in that meeting. And we talked about things like, do we set a goal or don't set a goal? And one of the reasons we talked about setting no goal this year was because we've had an amazing streak with United Way, with Pavna at the helm, and 20 years of successful campaigns. What would we do? And Angie really pushed to set a goal. And that goal was set at 2.9 million. And again, I was just thinking, wow, how lofty is that? But I want to introduce our campaign chair at this time, Angie McNeely. Thank you, Angie.
Thanks very much, Pat. Thanks for that introduction. And I'll give you that get out of jail card free.
I love
it. I have been very much honored and proud to be your 2020 United Way campaign chair. United Ways were created to address local issues. In times of crisis, we've come together to make sure immediate needs are met and that the most vulnerable in our communities are taken care of. And it is truly humbling to know about all the hard work and selflessness that's been occurring behind the scenes within our community. And it's hard to believe that the touchdown has arrived. It seems like yesterday when I attended my first campaign cabinet meeting back in April, and Pavna provided me the campaign cabinet chair position description. And it was daunting. It was a moment knowing that I've had big shoes to fill from all my predecessors, and especially during this time of uncertain times. So right from the very beginning, United Way KFL&A launched a COVID-19 response fund, and receiving much needed money donated from our generous community members. COVID-19 has shown that the gaps in our community are much more prominent during times of crisis. This money was invested immediately into programs to support our most vulnerable within the community for those who need it most. What also became immediately apparent to me at the cabinet meetings was the energy, passion, the caring, and the positivity of all the cabinet members and staff. They have worked tirelessly to create new ways of developing awareness, showing our local love in action. And as Pat would say, United Way never sleeps. And for that, we thank you. Our agency speakers made appearances via Zoom, gave virtual tours as guides, were subject matter experts at panel discussions covering topics such as food security, homelessness, youth, women's issues, and mental health. And for that, we thank you. Our workplace volunteers who collaborated with each other to champion new ways of finding funds to raise within the organizations and highlighted the needs within our community. Local love in response. We thank you. I'm also impressed at how fortunate we all are to have so many additional volunteers who are willing to share their time and talents with the United Way KFL&A. Thank you. Our media who helped spread the word, our labor partners, and of course to all our wonderful donors who have brought us to where we are today. And I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize the generosity of Jessica Bain Hogan for her leadership grant challenge to encourage leadership donations. We thank you. The KFL&A community has truly come together with compassion and collaboration, And it's been heartwarming to see and get to know our community at a much deeper level than I have before. I've had the privilege of attending many workplace campaign sessions, as well as the Women United Speaker Series, where panelists spoke about the help they received from United Way programs and agencies spoke about innovative ways that they've had to navigate these unprecedented times. Back in September, our children helped us announce an ambitious goal of $2.9 million. And this goal was 15% or $600,000 less than last year's goal, and reflected changes due to COVID-19, taking into account that there would be no workplace events. And some workplaces were not even sure whether they could even run campaigns. We knew that this year in particular, we really needed people to give if they could give. We counted on everyone who was giving to give a little bit more, and they stepped up to the plate and then some. We recognized that many in our community needed food, shelter, counseling, and support to get through these difficult times. And the need will continue over the winter and into next year. We are all in this together, and no one will be left behind. Finally, I'd like to thank the Boys and Girls Club members who are helping us today to reveal the campaign total. So let's see what was raised through the annual campaign. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. $3,180,301. Now, let's see what was raised with the COVID response fund.
Wow.
$367,367. For a grand total of $3,547,668. That's over $3.5 million raised locally by local people, companies, and unions. Thank you.
Unbelievable. That's just unbelievable. Andy, thank you so much for your leadership and your passion and everything. I know we have an amazing team, but we also have to have key people in certain roles, and we thank you for that. Are we going to do a
privilege.
Picture? Are we going to do a picture?
Yes, we are. A group picture.
Let's do a group picture. Let's uncover some faces. Hopefully people had time to get out of the bathroom and get out of bed and fix themselves up. Still a lot of dark squares. This is great. Great to see everybody. Good morning.
Morning.
How's it going, Chris?
Good. I was just thinking you could start next year's campaign off by auctioning off the bacon in your pocket.
I already ate half of it. Morning, Scott.
Good morning, everybody. Well done. Awesome job.
Who's taking this picture? Sarah?
We've got it.
Awesome. Thanks so much for everybody for joining in and allowing yourselves to be on camera. Morning, Jessica.
Morning.
Thanks so much to everybody. Remember, when you leave, don't turn left out of the Ambassador, only go right. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks so much to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Angie.
you, everyone, and
Thanks,
thanks to the
Angie.
United Way.